I can retire right now and be in the Hall of Fame. He couldn't. You know, like everything that I've accomplished, he's still trying to accomplish. You know.
Do you not think Spence will be in the Hall of Fame?
Right now? No, how?
Yeah, he's right, dude. He's right.
How? You know, he fought in one division. You know,
never unified the belts.
He unified.
He did unify.
You know,
IBF.
He unified.
Was it?
Yeah, nah, he's nice as hell, but you know, I'm at the point of my career. The money right, I'll fight anybody. So,
Errol Spence and Terence Crawford recently went head-to-head during a heated Instagram Live. Spence was demanding a rematch, confidently telling fans that this time he's going to beat Crawford. Ever since their fight for the undisputed World Welterweight Championship, both fighters had a rematch clause in place. However, Spence delayed activating it, and Crawford eventually moved on. But now, following some bold comments from Crawford, Spence seems fired up again.
You know, he said the Jose Benavidez fight was probably the toughest fight of his career. And I think you said back in the day you had your way with him in sparring. Is there anything to take away from that or that you take away from it?
nah, not at all. I mean, it was a good fight. We fought a one-leg Jose Benavidez, and it was a tough fight of his career. That says a lot.
What does it say?
I mean,
the former unified welterweight champ is fired up and eager to redeem himself against the man who handed him a crushing loss. Still, many boxing experts believe jumping straight into a rematch without a tune-up fight could be a huge mistake for Spence, especially since Crawford has stayed more active. Despite the warnings, Spence has only one thing on his mind.
walking over my feet. You know, I want to get out the game. I got kids, got a mom and dad, and, you know, they want to enjoy me. So, you know.
Spence, the former champion, feels motivated by Crawford's recent comments and believes that winning this fight would lock in his place in the Hall of Fame. But there's another side to this. Crawford gave Spence a brutal beating last time, and now that Spence has been out of action, people are questioning whether he's in shape to do any better. The whole situation kicked off after Crawford claimed that Spence hasn't done enough.
Unified.
Did unify.
You know,
IBF.
he unified.
IBF, was it?
He had three. He had the
but he didn't
WBC,
unify by
WBA,
four. He wasn't
IBF.
undisputed.
Huh?
He wasn't undisputed.
He wasn't. No, but what I'm saying is, they already called him a weight bully, right? He beat Kell Brook coming off of a loss, an eye injury. You know, he beat Sean Porter.
In all fairness, he had to go over there to get that.
He fought a one-leg Jose Benavidez. So what do you think it said?
Well, what is Terence's best victory for you?
Probably Gamboa.
What do you say there?
Because I can't thank anybody else.
Did you say Postal? Was it Postal?
Gamboa.
No. Recently, was there
4. Since their showdown at T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, a fight billed as a 50-50 matchup, Spence hasn't been in the ring. But Crawford took over that night, dropping Spence 3 times before stopping him in the 9th round. Before that loss, Spence had an impressive record, holding 3 welterweight titles and defeating big names like Kell Brook, Mikey Garcia, Sean Porter, Danny Garcia, and Ydenis Ugas. On the 4 Pound Pound podcast with Kamaru and Henry, Crawford shared that he was actually a fan of Spence before their rivalry heated up. And
Fondor, for his title, I'm fighting for a title, and there's the possibility. He win his fight, God willing. I win my fight, God willing. And there's a possibility right there.
When I moved up in weight and ended up in Spence's division, Crawford said, suddenly it was like, you haven't fought anyone, you're not this, you're not that. They were putting me down just to boost him up. And I'm like, no way. I could retire today and still be in the Hall of Fame. Crawford pointed out that everything he's accomplished, Spence is still chasing. When co-host and former UFC champ Kamaru Usman asked if Spence would make it to the Hall of Fame right now, Crawford replied, no way. Fellow host Henry Cejudo agreed, as Crawford explained further. Spence stayed in one division, unified 3 belts, but wasn't undisputed. He beat Kell Brook after a loss and an eye injury. He beat Shawn Porter too. I'm not trying to sound like a hater, but with his current achievements, I honestly don't think he makes it in.
Is there ever a possibility where you would rematch Errol Spence? Or is he in a position where he needs to win again before that makes sense for you?
The possibility is there.
41 punched his own ticket to the Hall of Fame on July 29th, 2023, when he beat Spence to become the undisputed welterweight champion. That was the second time in his career he's won all 4 major belts in a weight class, the first being in July 2017 at super lightweight against Julius Indongo. Since first becoming a lightweight world champ in 2014, Crawford has dominated across several divisions. Just last August, he moved up again and beat Israel Madrimov to claim the WBA Super.
I said, you know what I mean? That's a good win. Like, I don't want to sound like I'm hating on him or, you know,
I understand
things like that, but
right.
I honestly don't know if he make it to the Hall of Fame with the accolades that he did.
But before that impressive move, the WBO champ, now 35, had knocked Spence down 3 times before the ref stopped the fight in round 9. That win made him the first boxer to become undisputed champion in 2 weight classes. "I've always been an overachiever," Crawford said. "Nobody believed in me coming up." At 33, Spence entered the ring undefeated with a 28-0 record and had fought in 8 straight world title bouts.
Did you see there?
He looked good. He showed a lot of patience, showed a lot of poise, broke him down, and was able to stop him at the end.
Everybody's wondering what's going on with you and Terence Crawford. This fight going to happen?
I think it's going to happen. We both want to fight. I want to fight. He wants to fight. And, it's going down to negotiations, so I definitely...
In what was his 18th consecutive championship fight, Crawford made a strong case for being the best boxer in the world. He extended his winning streak to 40 fights with that performance at T-Mobile Arena. It means everything, he said, especially because of who I took the belts from. He added, "People doubted me, and I kept praying for a chance to show what I could really do. And tonight, I proved it." Spence still has the option to activate a rematch.
Get the fight this year, and we're going to square off this year with the biggest fight in boxing.
It is the biggest fight in boxing. Where and when, if you were guessing?
I don't know where, I don't know when, but it's definitely going to be this year.
All right. We look forward to that. Thanks for taking the time, Errol.
"Of course people will watch it," Crawford said. "If we fight again, I know the fans will show up for it." Spence was actually the first to walk to the ring, even though he was the unified champ. Crawford had won the coin toss at the press conference and chose the champion spot. Wearing black and white with red accents, Spence walked second for the first time since he stopped Kell Brook to win his first title in 2017. The crowd at T-Mobile was clearly on Crawford's side. The arena exploded when rap legend Eminem came out of the smoke with Crawford, both dressed in...
And there they are, ladies and gentlemen. It's the main event of the evening. Brought to you by Premier Boxing Champions, 12 rounds of boxing for the undisputed welterweight championship of the world.
Crawford said a quiet prayer before stepping into the ring, setting the stage for one of boxing's most anticipated matchups in decades. The opening round was cautious, with neither fighter taking big risks. In round 2, Spence started landing shots behind his jab, but Crawford was waiting for the perfect counter. One just missed Spence by inches. Moments later, Crawford connected, dropping Spence with a sharp 1-2. Spence got up quickly but was clearly rocked, and Crawford ended the round with a hard right.
Definitely, it was exciting. The whole build up to it and leading up to it too. So it's something that I wouldn't change for nothing, and I'm definitely open to the rematch, and hopefully it'll be at 154 pounds.
Crawford's speed and perfect timing caused real trouble for Spence. In round 3, Spence tried to press forward and take control, but Crawford's quick counters kept landing. He caught Spence with an uppercut in the 4th, then followed up with several hooks, including a powerful left that sent blood spraying from Spence's nose. In round 5, Crawford kept up the pressure, choosing his shots smartly and hitting Spence with clean combinations again and again.
Errol Spence, the other welterweight champion, who watched that knockdown, put his hand to his face, and said,
Spence tried to battle back, but his timing was off. Crawford, who had been fighting mostly on the back foot, began stepping forward with confidence. Spence relied on his jab to create space, but Crawford kept breaking through his guard with sharp left hands and slick uppercuts at close range. By the halfway point of the fight, Crawford had clearly won at least 5 rounds, including a dominant 10-8 round from the knockdown. But Crawford wasn't satisfied with just being ahead on the scorecards. In round 7, he let Spence come forward and then exploded with a huge uppercut, followed by a right hook that dropped Spence for the 2nd time. Spence got up again, but he was shaky. Since in the end was near, Crawford turned up the pressure. As Spence backed up to the ropes to escape, he got caught with another right hook and went down again. The bell rang just in time to keep the fight going, but many believe it should have been stopped right.
Junior TerenceCrawford, 4 tytuły, kategoria fundamentów Errola Spence'a Jr. w tym pojedynku. I raz jeden. Ataki na razie lepiej wszedły w tę walkę z pęka.
Zobaczymy, czy tak to będzie wyglądało. To jest dopiero drugie starcie. Robi się gorąco.
Po raz pierwszy w karierze Errol, ale to może być wielki spektakl. Teraz obija korp.
Spence came out for round 8, hoping to land a big shot that could change everything. But Crawford was firmly in control. He boxed beautifully, keeping Spence off balance with speed and smart movement. Spence's face was swollen, especially on the left side, and his punches no longer had any power behind them. Meanwhile, Crawford's jab kept snapping Spence's head back. In round 9, the punishment reached its peak. Crawford invited Spence to trade punches, and while Crawford stayed composed, Spence fought wildly. Another hard right hook stunned Spence, and as Crawford unleashed a flurry, the referee had seen enough.
Obviously, you're a guy that always wanted to fight the best people out there. Even if you're on the layoff, always want to fight the best guys. We got a guy in Jaron Ennis right now who's killing everybody. Floyd is praising him, Roy Jones, everybody really. Would a part of you, and not looking past Terence, but would a part of you be like, yo, this kid is good, I gotta fight this kid?
Ale ten lewy był mocno, ależ mocny lewy Spence'a i za chwilę deski.
Ale jaka odpowiedź? Nie wraca ta lewa ręka.
Który zaaplikował mu Crawford. Ostatnie sekundy 7 rundy i kolejny knockdown. Patrzy na to, co wyprawia w tej walce Terence Crawford.
To samo, czyli
ależ teraz bomb.
What's your thoughts on the fight as a whole?
I think Bud is out for the best. That's something that I know personally about Bud. Feeling counted out and doubted for so long, I think that Bud mentally feels as if I do this against Canelo, no one can ever deny anything that I've done. Even when you the fight with me, I've heard